Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, December 19th, 2018. And ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to show you the updated photographs from the COR2 stereo spacecraft that monitors the sun. I made a pretty decent capture on December 14th showing two very large objects, and one of them wasn't too clear. The other one was pretty clear. And over the course of the last couple of days, I know I was supposed to do a live stream and show all of you guys what I found with this secondary image. You know, unfortunately, I've been getting over a little bit of a chest cold, and my sinuses are just absolutely killing me, and it was causing me to lose my voice. So, like I said before, I know there's probably some people out there that would like me to lose my voice permanently, but that's not going to happen. Now that I have my voice back, we can proceed. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so you guys can see these. And for all of you that are just getting caught up, this is the stereo photograph that I was referring to. And if you give me just 1 second, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the live chat so I can see everything right here real quick. Okay, we got that. And this was a pretty amazing capture. I'm not tooting my own horn, and a lot of people leave comments, and it's probably the trolls that say, I have a pretty big ego. Well, listen, folks, it's not my ego. It's my confidence in what I research, what I investigate, and what I find. So, don't mistake an ego for confidence. Now, let's go ahead and check these photographs out. Just give me 1 second here. Now, these are just two side-by-side photographs, and this is the COR2. Hold on 1 second. Let me adjust my microphone here. 1 second. There we go. Now, these are the two photographs that I was referring to. One of them is in black and white, and the other is in its natural red color that comes from the stereo ahead COR2 coronagraph. And this was the object that we were checking out, and we were trying to judge on how large this object is and its exact position. And I'll be quite honest with you folks, that's damn near impossible, because we just don't have the depth perception from where the stereo spacecraft is located. And this little white circle here, that represents the sun. And this black disc right here, this is called the occulter. And that is literally inside of the cameras on the stereo spacecraft. And that literally blocks out the corona of the sun, so the spacecraft can see the coronal mass ejections, solar flares, things of that nature. So this black and white photograph, it's actually pretty clear of what we can see right here. But this secondary photograph over here, this secondary object, this is what I was kind of centering my attention on, because I couldn't tell what that was. So we're just going to get right down to it. Now, I sent the photographs over to a really good friend of mine, and he has been a photographer, well, let's see, probably close to 30 years, maybe 32 years. And, we've been best friends, since we were kids. And, over the last several years, I've been sending photographs over to him so he can take a look at them for me and, kind of help me out a little bit. Now, he does have some pretty sophisticated photography programs, and he's helped me out quite a bit. He took these photographs that I sent him, and I guess through his workings, he's able to digitize these photographs and bring out more detail, more than the programs that I actually have. So as you can see in the first black and white photograph that he sent back over, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. Now we can definitely tell beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a secondary object there. It is a sphere. Now, again, because of the depth perception and the distance, we can't tell how big that object is. But again, my concern was it just an anomaly on the camera, or was it another stellar core, a planet, brown dwarf, planet X, Nibiru, whatever you want to label it? Okay, it is an object in our solar system that should not be there. Okay, so now we know in that COR2 image from December 14th, there was not only one object, there were two. Now, as you look at this object, it looks like there's a lot going on around it. I really can't tell if, that would be a gaseous cloud of material around it. You can see all of these smaller black type little objects here. Me and Dr. Albers were going back and forth on this. We don't know if that is debris. We don't know what it is. But one thing we do know is that there is a lot of activity going on around this secondary object. So I'm going to go ahead and get to the next photograph. And this one is, I do believe this one is inverted. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here because we already know that first object, we already know all about that one. So again, looking at this compared to the original photographs, because in that original photograph, it kind of just looked like a blurred little blob, kind of pixelated, and Billy did a great job bringing out what was actually there. And again, here we go. So we see it's a perfect spherical object. We can definitely tell that there's something going on. Again, I'm starting to think that this may be, possibly gaseous material, or even, you never know, a very, very thick, heavy atmosphere. I don't know. I'm really not leaning towards that atmosphere because these objects are getting very, very, very close to the sun in their orbital pattern around the sun, and it would just burn their atmosphere up, kind of like Mars. We're going to flip to the next photograph because they get a little bit more interesting. Now, I don't know exactly what type of filtration that Bill used on this photograph, but looks pretty damn good. And go ahead and zoom in here. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit darker in the middle, a little bit lighter on the outside. But again, there is this huge halo around this object. Now, the main object that we were looking at on December 14th, it did not have this halo around it, but this secondary object does. And it's actually in each and every one of these photographs. So I don't know if these are two totally different objects, meaning as far as their compositions. We just don't know that. What I do know is these objects should not be in our solar system. Mainstream science and astronomy and astrophysics, they don't want us to know. The governments of the world do not want us to know that these objects are in our solar system. And they are wreaking havoc on the sun. They are creating very, very serious situations here on Earth. And that affects each and every human being on this planet, including plants, animals, aquatic life. It affects our whole entire planet. And I guess that is the main reason why mainstream science and the governments are not going to come out and make an announcement and hold a press conference on the White House lawn and tell us what the hell is going on out there in our inner solar system. You never know. Maybe Trump will hold that press conference tomorrow. Who knows? Again, here is another one of the digitized photographs. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And again, it's kind of hard to get it all the way into the photograph because this object is off to the corner. But again, folks, you can see compared to what we were looking at on December 14th, it just looked like a little pixelated ball of nothing. Now that the photographs have been cleaned up and cleared up, we can definitely see that's a spherical object. I wish we could actually see straight through that cloud formation or whatever it is that's going on around this object. I wish we had a really, really good crystal clear photograph. But hey, listen, if you're not employed by NASA or one of the big space agencies and you're not in on this Planet X program, hell, you're never going to see the actual truth of what they see. So once again, if you just take a broad look at this, we see our first primary object that was right here that all of our attention was on the 14th of December. And again, we couldn't tell what this object was over here. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. Now, again, I don't know exactly what type of filtration that Bill was using to get this secondary object to come out. But it's pretty amazing at the work that he did, and he's helped me out a lot over the course of the last 3 years, and I really appreciate it. But this just shows me even more that there is another object there. You can see the perfect spherical shape. But then again, here is this outer shape. I mean, I don't even know what to call it because I don't really know what it is. I don't know if it's a gaseous atmosphere. I don't know if it's a massive debris field around this object. But my primary concern is that there are two pretty big stellar objects floating around in our inner solar system. And folks, over the past 3 years, there have been so many people that have called me a liar and a fearmonger and a bunch of other bad names. I really don't care about the name calling because I know deep in my heart and I know in my mind what I am finding. That much is a fact. Now, there have been probably thousands and thousands of people that have seen these photographs, that have gone to the COR2 website, and they have pulled the information up for themselves. So, I don't see people making comments that this is fake. I don't see them making any comments, anything, nothing like that. Why? Because they know deep down inside, holy hell, what did this guy just find? And it's staring you right in your face. It is pretty amazing. I'm still a little kind of, worked up about what was seen on the stereo coronagraph because it just proves, once again, beyond a shadow of a doubt, these invaders, these objects, they are in our inner solar system. Okay, they're not traveling way out in deep space past, a Neptune and Pluto, like some of these mythological stories that are told on YouTube and Facebook, and the whole mythological story about Nibiru. Okay, because folks, let's just get right down to it. Nibiru is a mythological story. Okay, there's no actual evidence of Nibiru. What we are looking at are some type of stellar objects that are in our solar system. 2 years ago, I strayed away from the mythological story of Nibiru because I could not prove it. I read all of Zecharia Sitchin's material. I read everything there was available about Robert Harrington. Okay, but that was so long ago. And these objects possibly were pretty far out into the edges, the outer edges of our solar system. On top of that, technology wasn't where it's at now. So, I could positively say that the whole mythological story of Nibiru is just that. It's a freaking story. It may have been put out there as a meaning of disinformation or misinformation to lead people on. But it did lead me on. I researched it heavily. I found out everything that I needed to know to make this statement here today. And again, tell all of you that the Nibiru theory is mythological. This 3,600-year orbit, Zecharia Sitchin, Gil Broussard, all of these hypothetical theories, they're just not correct. The fact of the matter is, I have been detecting these objects orbiting the sun since late 2016, going into 2017. Okay, that is not a theory. It's a fact. It's an absolute fact. And again, for all of you that think I got a big ego, whatever, it's confidence in what I have found. It's as simple as that. And let me just add this, since we're on the subject of ego. If you don't like me and you don't like what I show people, then don't come to my YouTube channel and watch it. But the reason why you're here watching it is because you are interested and you're probably scared. But don't be scared, folks. We're all going to live through this. The earth is going to go through some pretty big changes, and we are already going through those changes. See, people who like to debunk Planet X, they just have the same bullshit rebuttals. Oh, that's a lens flare. Oh, that's a light anomaly. Oh, that's atmospheric phenomenon. But when it comes to the photographs and the evidence that I show you, what do they say? They say nothing about the evidence. They go after me personally, and quite frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Because I've been attacked inside and out, and that doesn't bother me one bit. But let's get back to business. Let's get down to this next photograph. This one is even better. Again, I don't know what type of technology Billy used to bring out this even more, but as we were having a conversation, he was telling me, he's like, Scott, there is something going on around that secondary object. I don't know what it is. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a astronomer, but from what I've been seeing, there's definitely something going on around that object. So let's go ahead and zoom in here. And again, we can see the nice spherical shape. We can see something again, like I hate to repeat myself over and over, but that could be a gaseous atmosphere. It could be a gaseous debris field. Whatever it is in a very big spherical shape. And 99.9% of the time, that's going to be a stellar object, planet, dead star, stellar core, Planet X object, whatever you want to call it. it's right there. It appeared in the stereo COR2 image on December 14th, 2018. That much is undeniable. So as you can see, folks, there's a high possibility that these other little objects that you see all around here, there's a very high possibility that those are asteroid-size objects, possibly that debris field. Again, I don't know. One thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you, oh yeah, it's this and it's that. I can theorize by looking at the photographs and making an observation, an intelligent observation. But again, I don't know what's going on around this secondary object, but it seems like a hell of a lot. Now, during the live stream with Dr. Albers and Wayne Steiger on Monday evening, I showed these photographs to Wayne. I actually emailed them to him during the live stream because Dr. Albers was showing an article that she just wrote about these objects, and Wayne had not seen them yet. So I went ahead and I emailed the photographs that you're seeing now straight to Wayne during the live stream, and he pulled them up and he started to show his viewers what I sent. And I think before Wayne lost a little communication during his live stream, I think he might have said, holy shit, like 4 or 5 times. Something like that. But then Wayne kind of lost communication, and Dr. Albers had to finish up that live stream on her report. But, I mean, here you go, folks. These aren't doctored photographs. They're not photoshopped. Now, they are cleared up. That much I can tell you. And again, when you look at this particular photograph, again, you can see some type of energy, something's going on in the nucleus of this mess that we see. And using that term nucleus, whenever I looked at this particular photograph, that's what it made me think of. It made me think of a single cell and the nucleus inside, in the middle. But we know that this is probably a pretty massive object, and there is definitely something going on around it. What is it? Well, again, we could only create our own theories and a hypothesis on what it actually is. What is more breathtaking is the fact that we have discovered these two objects buzzing through our solar system, our inner solar system. And folks, when you talk about space in our solar system, 50 million miles, 25 million miles, 10 million miles. Yeah, those numbers seem pretty big. But in space, those numbers really aren't that big. So if this object or these objects were coming within, say, 50 or 60 million miles away from Earth, if these objects have very strong magnetic fields, they're definitely going to interact with the magnetic field of Earth and probably Venus. Now, Venus doesn't have a magnetic field like the Earth does, but again, people are asking, oh my God, why is Venus so bright? Why is Venus so bright? Some people will say it's the sun and the reflection of the sun. But let's just say, for instance, maybe these objects are heating up Venus. Maybe Venus is actually starting to glow more than it already does when it is hit by the direct sunlight and it is visible in our sky. So again, these were the secondary images and the update. And I'm going to go ahead and post all of these photographs on the Planet X News Facebook page. You guys are more than welcome to download them, do your own videos, show people what has been found. I just ask one small thing: don't misrepresent the photographs. It's as simple as that. Don't call it Nibiru. You can call it Planet X, but it's not Nibiru. Okay? Because, once again, Nibiru is a mythological story created by Zacharias Sitchin and also Nancy Leader. Okay? So, we know for a fact that we have several of these objects orbiting our sun. That is a fact. We have captured them so many times over the course of the last 2 years, it is now completely undeniable. Now, the big question is, what's going to happen to the Earth? What's going to happen to the sun? What's going to happen to all of us? And I guess that is something that we will just have to find out. Somebody made a comment in the comment section under one of my videos yesterday that the reason why I was showing a video about last year's massive X flare that occurred, that 9.3 X flare. Their comment was, oh, Scott's running out of material. No, Scott is not running out of material because there is so much happening around the world and within our solar system. But I had a lot of people asking about X flares, solar flares, coronal mass ejections, and how dangerous are they? What could happen to the Earth? So, instead of going back and forth and answering 100 emails, I put together that video, which is very informative. And it shows you exactly what can happen if an X flare that is Earth-facing hits our planet. Now, going back to the beginning of September of 2017, I was systematically watching sunspot 2673 roll around the sun. And I kept saying, boy, that sunspot is in a really, really bad place. It is damn near Earth-facing. I hope we don't have an X flare or a coronal mass ejection while that sunspot is rotating and Earth-facing. And lo and behold, as soon as that sunspot 2673 moved a little further to the right, bingo, we had that massive X flare. And that could be very, very dangerous to all of our satellites and our electronic and electric infrastructure on the entire planet. So for the smart asses out there that say I'm running out of content, no. I wanted to show new people what exactly can happen. Folks, each and every month we put on thousands of new followers here on Planet X News. I was just looking at some statistics on YouTube this morning. We have already put on 1,309 new subscribers. So I feel that it's necessary sometimes to bring everybody up to date, fill them in on what we know and what we have found. So I'm going to get into something else here real quick. Oh, these sun halos. These sun halos are now appearing, and I mean appearing all over the world like every single day. And yes, I know for the troll babies that there is a scientific reason for these anomalies, and it all has to do with ice crystals and water droplets. But the fact of the matter is, folks, we're now seeing these massive sun halos and sun dogs all over the world. Thousands and thousands of people are now seeing it. And they're saying to themselves, What the hell is that? That's a spectacular photograph right there. One of the best that I've ever seen. Very, very cool. One other thing here, real quick. Let me get out of this other picture here real quick. Come on. Here, let's do it this way. There we go. This photograph was just sent in to me. Oh, God, where was this from? Oh, God, it slipped my mind. I forget where this photograph is from. I just posted it on the Planet X News Facebook page. I forget where this photograph is from. But again, here we go with these purple skies. Now, how many of you have been seeing these purple skies in videos, in photographs, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter? I mean, it's almost becoming something quite normal that we see purple skies. It's almost like you're living on Mars. Give me a second here. Let me take a little sip of my Red Bull. I got to get my Red Bull plug in there for the advertising. Damn, that's good stuff. But yeah, folks, you know, here we go with more of the purple skies. These photographs were just sent in to me. And these are just absolutely spectacular sun halo pictures. And it almost looks like the sun is right above these mountains. The photograph almost looks completely fake, but they're not fake. They are real. And you can see this this light pillar leading straight up to what I would believe that would be the sun simulator. That's another thing, folks. You know, so many people, oh, I guess they don't like us talking about the fact that there's a sun simulator, possible multiple devices in our upper atmosphere that simulate the sun, and they simulate the sun for a reason. It goes hand in hand with the chemtrailing that you see worldwide now. But you know, we'll get into all of that sun simulator stuff at another time. I wanted to show you guys a photograph that I took early evening yesterday. I posted this photograph on the Planet X News Facebook page and also my public figure page on Facebook. And let me just give you a little backstory on this. For the first time in weeks, we've actually had a very clear evening, and I wanted to go out there and take my 35 millimeter camera and put it on the tripod, and I wanted to get some shots of the moon, because during this phase of the moon, I always see something sticking out of the left side of the moon. We'll get to that later on. I don't know what it is, but you could almost see it with the naked eye. But as I was taking my series of photographs, lo and behold, in the viewfinder on the back of the camera, I literally see these 3 black streaks just go right across the viewfinder. I mean, I saw it with my own eyes. And I immediately took a photograph. Thank God I captured one photograph. I looked up at the moon with the naked eye, and I wanted to see if I could see it with my naked eye. And I also wanted to see if I could see any type of lights, like the little strobe lights on aircraft. And there was not a cloud in the sky. It was crisp and clear. And no, I did not see any plane streaking across the sky. I saw absolutely nothing. So I immediately, and we're talking 3 seconds here, I immediately hit the button to take another photograph, and that's the photograph that you see on the right. Nothing is there. I don't know what these three trails are. I don't know how they came about. Again, I guess just another mystery. I did have one young lady leave a comment on this photograph this morning, and she said that she saw the same identical thing. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but I'm still kind of stumped as to what it is. And how can it cross the whole face of the moon that rapidly and not leave any residual markings to be viewed? So I cracked off the picture on the left. 3 seconds went by as I looked up to the sky with my naked eye. I went back to the camera, took a secondary photograph, and in 3 seconds, whatever made those markings across the sky disappeared, and so did those trails. If anybody has a good idea on what the hell that was, inbox me. Let me hear your theory. Leave a comment in the comment section, because I've been staring at these photographs for hours last night and again early this morning. I can't figure it out. There were no airplanes anywhere in the vicinity. None. Zero. Zilch. So, what the hell are those markings? And why were they only there for a split second? You know, it was only by the grace of God that I actually was looking at the viewfinder on the camera, and I saw that. And immediately, bingo, hit the button to take a photograph. Very interesting. So if any of you guys have an idea of what that might be, or you have your own theory, definitely let me know. And let me go ahead and jump out of here. Show you guys a couple of video clips. I did a video. Well, I actually had some video information sent in to me from Norway. And I'm going to show you guys this. I'm going to go ahead and just mute it. It's a group of people in Norway. I forget the name of the area. Begins with a T. Is it Tormosa, Norway? And I'm going to go ahead and let this loop through so you guys can check this out. I mean, this is like something out of a freaking space odyssey. This was right after we had that little bit of a geomagnetic storm. And to be standing on the ground, looking up at this, just literally right above your head, is just absolutely spectacular. Yes, it does look beautiful, but again, this is all due to these geomagnetic storms, all of these heavily charged particles hitting our Earth's atmosphere and creating the aurora borealis. But if you just check this out, I mean, this looks like these people are standing in some type of psychedelic disco. That is absolutely amazing aurora footage. And I did post that in a video on the Planet X News YouTube channel. And a lot of people asked me why I was posting something like this completely unrelated to Planet X. But again, folks, I can find things intriguing and scientific, and it doesn't always have to be related to Planet X. But again, this was right after and during this geomagnetic storm, and this aurora was just absolutely spectacular, and I wanted to show it and share it with all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. And this was sent in, I believe this is from Sweden. And again, they're kind of jumping around with the camera a little bit. I do believe this is either Sweden or Norway. And here we go with these massive, spectacular sundogs. I'm going to go ahead and flip back here a little bit. Oops, wrong button. We'll just stop it right there. You know, folks, again, we have a lot of questions that arise when we see these spectacular sundogs. A lot of questions arise about the sun simulators and these sundogs. You know, I know sundogs exist, and there are scientific reasons for them. But why all of a sudden now are we seeing this phenomenon all around the world? And these sundogs are just absolutely spectacular. Very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. And I do believe this was a nice meteor shot. I'm going to pull this up here real quick. Oops, wrong button. Bear with me here, folks. We'll get it to work. Now this will go ahead and loop. And these were a couple of guys that were out, and they were checking out the meteor showers. And they got a really, really spectacular shot. I mean, that was a nice bright meteor that looked like it was passing within our Earth's atmosphere and possibly burning up. But they have an absolutely beautiful view of the sky. I don't know exactly where they were. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if this was taken in Germany. I have so many people that send me video clips and photographs from around the world, but this one was also very, very spectacular. Wanted to share it with all of you. It is also up on the Planet X News Facebook page. And you know, guys, I'm going to jump out of here real quick. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to move over to the Planet X News website. And if you guys do not follow our website, you're really, really missing out on a lot of information. I post articles that I find relevant to our research and what is happening on this planet. So you guys should bookmark it. It's planetxnews.org, O-R-G. And I put up a couple of very, very good articles today. And all of a sudden now, this article that you see right here, polar vortex may be on the horizon. Scientists are warning everybody. And I keep a very, very close eye on the weather. And yeah, there are some very, very unusual things happening with our weather. Also, scientists find a very, very distant, far out object. And what do? They name the object Far Out. That article is posted here. Also, some more information about what is beneath Antarctica. Again, very, very cool article here. And now, here we go with scientists once again talking about the San Andreas Fault. And the Earth has cracked and drifting. We're literally drifting on these pieces. It's a very, very in-depth article. I took a lot of time putting all of this together. And you can go through all of this, read it, you can share it. And folks, I think sooner or later, we're going to have a situation in Southern California that is going to be just absolutely devastating. I hope it doesn't occur, but I think eventually it will. There was another article about the doomsdayers. I guess that's all of us. Everybody freaking out about this supermoon on January 19th that's coming up. There's an article right here. And in the article, there's a lot of quotes from Pastor Paul Begley talking about it and the biblical references. Also, over the course of the last couple of days, we've had a lot of volcanic explosions. Okay, there are several articles right along here. In Japan, Indonesia, Vanuatu went off and literally cracked pieces of the ground wide open. It triggered an earthquake, which just literally cracked the ground wide open, similar to what we saw just recently happen in Alaska. So again, very, very catastrophic things that are occurring worldwide. So for the bozos out there that say, oh, Scott's running out of Planet X material. No, we're not running out of Planet X material, but there are things that are happening on this planet that everybody should know about. And I consider that to be my job, is to let you know what I am finding. Therefore, we can share it throughout the world with the network that we have worked so hard to create. And so many people want to see that network disposed of. And it's just not going to happen unless they shut the internet down. And that may be a big possibility. You never know. You just never know what they're going to do. I want to bring up one thing real quick. I've had a lot of people asking me questions about, what's happening with this jet stream. And, once again, folks, I've gone over this for quite a long time. I watch the jet stream on a daily basis. And the reason for all of this turmoil, once again, our Earth is wobbling severely. We have objects in our solar system, our inner solar system, that are not supposed to be there. Our planet is not used to interacting with these other magnetic fields. So yes, very, very crazy anomalies are going to occur. Now, going back into the summertime, I mentioned to all of you on several occasions that we were going to see very, very erratic and catastrophic situations occur with the jet stream. If you guys just take maybe an hour or so and watch the Weather Channel and wait till they get to the point where they talk about the jet stream. I was watching it again this morning. And they sit there and they say, I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anything like this before. These are professionals. And when professionals say that they've never seen anything like this before, we have to really start to worry. The last two hurricane seasons, 2017, 2018, what did the meteorologists all say on a daily basis as we watch these hurricanes roar through the Atlantic? I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anything like this before. you kind of start to not even have faith in our meteorologists. And check this out. Right here in Pittsburgh, 2 days ago, a meteorologist by the name of Jeff Zarella. He had been with KDKA News as a meteorologist for 23 years. He was their top lead meteorologist. 2 days ago, they called him in as he was reporting for work to do the morning weather, and they fired him. Why did they fire him? Well, he went onto Twitter and started tweeting some stuff that probably the news station didn't like. And he is not agreeing with climate change. A man with a 23-year career, a respected career. Because he wouldn't go with the flow, they ended his 23-year career. Just like that. Because he doesn't believe that this so-called climate change is occurring like scientists want us to believe. That this is man's fault? No, ladies and gentlemen, this is not man's fault. This is the fault of what is lurking out in our inner solar system. Just think about it. All of a sudden, over just the last 2 years, all of this just starts to occur. Climate change is gradual. What we're seeing here is just boom, hitting you right in the face. One day it's this, the next day it's that. It's like black and white. And we are seeing a completely destroyed jet stream. Our planet relies on that jet stream. It creates our weather. And it is creating disastrous situations worldwide. Worldwide. The situation that's occurring right now on the west coast of the United States and the west coast of Canada. You can see the way the jet stream is flowing. It is completely erratic. You see this trough right down here, this massive dip. That is ice cold Arctic air being pulled down into warmer air, warmer water, and then, bingo, 50-foot waves crashing into the western coast. Then, in the state of Washington, where they don't normally see tornadoes, look what happened yesterday. Tornadoes came in and just devastated an area. Devastated. So, again, you want to know where this crazy weather's coming from? As I said weeks ago, we were going to be looking at about a 17-degree dip in the jet stream. I believe it's actually gone further than that. Look at this trough. It has made its way all the way down to southern Mexico. What is it going to do? It is going to pick up all of this warmer air, string it out across the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to pick up moisture, and then what is it going to do? It is going to dump all of that on the southeast part of the United States. It is already predicted that they are going to have catastrophic rain within the next 24 to 48 hours. The state of Florida, around the Tampa area, they could see 4 to 6 inches of rain in a few hours. That is going to be devastating. What's the root cause? You're looking at it. The jet stream. The erratic jet stream. It is completely just destroyed. And this erratic movement of the jet stream is here to stay. This is going to create all of the weather anomalies from this point on. This is how our life will be. We have to watch the weather. Now, fortunately, because this jet stream is going to be moving out of here, thank God there is not a large amount of moisture that's going to be coming down over the northeast, because if that did occur, we would probably have massive blizzard conditions across the northeast. But that's not going to occur. A lot of this rain is actually going to make its way up into, well, my section of the country in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. So again, folks, there is so much to watch, and if you travel, for a living, or, just on your day to day, be very careful, watch the weather, listen to your weather forecasts, because you never know when you're going to get stuck or get trapped. There are people that do lose their lives in these situations. And, we don't want to see that happen. But I'm going to show you what it looks like from the top of the Earth. Here's dead center of the North Pole. Now, you can see all of this erratic movement that strings out through the center part of the North Pole. And once again, we're seeing very, very warm air being sucked up again right through the western side of Greenland, and also the eastern side of Greenland. I was looking at temperatures, and we can do that now real quick. I was looking at temperatures, and this gives you a better view. I'm going to go ahead and pan this back a little bit. And this will show you how quick the cold air expanded across the top of the Earth. Excuse me. The same thing happened last year with this polar expansion. This year, it's actually increased on this side over Siberia and Russia. It's not too bad on our side of the world, but don't get comfortable with that, because that is going to change. We're not even into the winter solstice yet. So the Earth is going to be changing its tilt quite a bit. And along with that wobble, believe me, times are going to get worse. Now, this is what I was talking about with this influx of warm air making its way up into the Arctic. Now, if we click on this, we can get 37.8 degrees Fahrenheit, right where that green circle is. Okay, that is the northern tiers of Norway and Sweden. We're almost at the end of December. Do you actually think that that is a normal temperature? See, folks, over the last 2 years, we have continued to see this same anomaly, these vortexes of air, warm air, moving up into the Arctic. And then, excuse me, people wonder why I keep blabbing my mouth about the Arctic melting. That is a very, very serious situation, folks. Yes, it looks like it's completely frozen over now, but the temperatures are still not even that cold. Look, let me show you. This is dead center in the middle of the Arctic. Let's click on it. It's only a minus 25 degrees. That's it. Minus 25. That is all new ice. And the new ice melts very rapidly whenever we start moving once again into the spring and summer solstice. What happens to that new ice? It melts faster. What happens to that fresh water? It flows directly into our oceans, and it screws up the salinity of our oceans. And again, you're looking at one of the leading factors of why our weather is so freaking crazy. And this is going to continue to happen. I've been conversing quite a bit with a lot of people down in Brazil. They are going through, the whole entire continent is going through absolutely crazy weather in Brazil, in Argentina, in Chile, all of these countries. From hailstorms to just massive, massive clouds falling in. I showed a video yesterday of Porto Alegre in Brazil where this just massive cloud just came all the way down to the ground and engulfed the whole city. Heat waves out of control. Once again, wild weather, climate chaos. It's going to hit the entire world. Let's take a look at the Antarctic. Now, let's go dead center. Dead center. How cold do you think it is right now in the center of the Antarctic? Let's just take a quick look. How about 4.8 degrees Fahrenheit? Wow. I mean, that is the bottom of the world, but yet the temperature, as you see in the lower left-hand corner, is only 5 degrees Fahrenheit. And check this out. See these green areas? Well, you would think that that would be pretty cold, right? Well, let's take a look. 36.7 degrees. 37 degrees. You could stand out there with a sweatshirt on in the Antarctic. Doesn't seem normal, does it, folks? But this is something that we have been seeing time and time and time again over the course of the last several years. And again, weather situations over in the Middle East, there was just a massive storm that was crushing the coast of India right over here. Matter of fact, my web developer lives in India. Thank God he doesn't live in the southern portion of India. He lives, up here in the northern part, but he has been hearing on the news reports about that massive storm churning and impacting this section of India. Excuse me. So we are going to continue to see these massive weather anomalies worldwide. There's absolutely no doubt. Now, we haven't heard much from what's been going on down in Australia. However, one of my subscribers in Australia sent me a video of this just absolutely catastrophic hailstorm. I would definitely say if you got stuck out there without like a football helmet, you'd probably be dead. The hailstones were that bad. Absolutely horrendous. Now, over the last 2 years, Australia has gone through massive heat waves. It has not started just yet. Yes, there are some internal temperatures, like right here where it's 103.4 degrees. Up here, 101. Down here, it is 99.5. The coastlines are relatively moderate. But guess what? That's going to change in just a few weeks. And whenever we look at Australia, I'd say maybe in about 2 to 3 weeks from now, the whole entire country will be this color. This deep, deep red. And once again, the temperatures for the whole country are going to skyrocket like they have the last 2 years in a row. So folks, there is so much going on out there. No, Scott's not looking for content because there is plenty of content out there. But I wanted to be able to come on here today. I wanted to be able to show you guys those those photographs that Bill finished up for me. They were absolutely incredible. So we definitely know beyond a shadow of a doubt that, yes, there is a secondary object that appeared in the COR2 on December 14th. Not only did we see this monster right here, it came with a brother. Very, very interesting. But listen, folks, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for now. Stay in tune with Planet X News. Share our videos. Share Dr. Albers' videos. Follow us on Facebook. Share the articles that we post on Facebook. And make sure that you bookmark our website. Go back there once a day. Check out the articles. Read up on the information. Keep yourself in tune with what's happening around the world. This is Scott from Planet X News. Stay safe out there, folks. And thank you very, very much for your support. And thank you for watching. Take care.